Well, how do? I'd like to say that I've been busy and that's why I haven't been able to put any videos up in front of the camera and film, because I have been wanting to quite a few times. All the sort of talk of these different video response topics that have been bounced around YouTube, and I've been seeing them and thinking I sort of feel like I want to get involved, but I just haven't had the chance. There's been lots of things going on at home. I still don't have a job, but things have kept me from switching on the camera and getting the time to sit down and talk essentially to myself. But as time is of the essence, because I'm filming this in August and it's about stuff in July, let's get on to talking about plastic robots. First up, near the beginning of the month, I guess, Matter Smasher was selling off some more of his bots. He was selling off something which I really, really wanted, so I was very happy to chuck money his way, and now I am the very, very proud owner of a Cybertron Defense Hotshot. This is, it ticks all the boxes, every single one, apart from maybe articulation. It's the only real downside. He doesn't move as well as the regular Cybertron Hotshot, but just look at it! It's beef, it's a Hotshot made out of an armoured car. I love it. It's got a little shiv and he's got missiles hidden everywhere, down here in his legs as well. It's glorious. I love every inch of this. It's solid. It just looks great, the paint and everything, and this is actually the Takara version. Not that you'd be able to tell because there didn't end up being any differences between the Hasbro and Takara versions of this. Even though from pictures I've seen, the Hasbro one was going to have like sort of mud splashed up the wheel rims, which would look really good. But this is very nice, and oh god, I love it so much. The vehicle mode is just a solid hunk of chunk, and with the great weather I've just been rolling it around outside like do, and I took some great pictures of it sort of off-roading, and that felt really good. It just felt really good to have a toy that you can really play with, and it got me pretty badly into a pretty big Unicron trilogy overload. I went and got all of my Armada figures out and put them on a shelf. Then I went and got all my Energon figures out and put them on a shelf. Then I went and got all my Cybertron figures out and realised A, I didn't have any shelf space for them, and B, I hadn't really got enough of them to constitute a shelf full of them. But either way, I got them all out and I just had a really nice time. I think I still am, just enjoying loads of really old, chunky, solid bots that are a little bit rubbish in some ways, but I really love them because I was of the correct age to buy them when they were around, and it's all nostalgia and it's lovely. But here today we're here to talk about new stuff, and this is, well, it's not really new anymore, I've had it about a month now I expect, but I love it. This is just everything I could have wanted really, but I'm a little bit sad to point out that I'm pretty sure it was me that did this. On all the missiles on his legs down here, in these rotating panels, which do rotate quite stiffly, and if you go and sort of go to push them in, I think my nail is sort of caught with some of the little bits of detailing, because each missile seems to have sort of 4 divots on the end of it by the look of it. Some of them, the really tiny sort of detailing bits of sculpting are actually sort of coming off. I think that's just from the force of me going like that and pushing the thing in, and I've sort of caught on. So that's a little bit of a shame. But honestly, you couldn't ask for a more well-built figure as this. I could probably drop this off the Empire State Building and still land in one piece. And it's a hot shot! But of course, being the Takara version, if he hasn't got any additions in paint, he still gets some extra stuff. And it's very nice that Matter Smasher had kept hold of it all and sent it to me. So you've got a sort of collectory card thing here with some nice art on it and tech specs on the back and stuff I can't read, but it's a nice addition. It's a shame you don't get things like this anymore. And as a complete thing, which I really didn't expect, it comes with some little sort of target stands of scrap metals, and that's just really cool. You can sort of fold them and stand them up. I haven't done so, I don't really want to crease them too much, but it just makes me think, surely these would have been better put in with a figure that actually fires a missile, so you've got them like being shot. Because in the instructions, I kid you not, in the instructions it has a little picture showing Hotshot like this with his sword poking out that way, standing next to one of these, just poking it, as if you're meant to imagine he's going oh, and stabbing them all or something. But it seems just a little bit silly. But it's just a nice addition. You honestly don't get this with anything, do you? I've never seen anything like this with Transformers before. These are the sort of things you get with like a magazine free gift, like foam dart launcher that would have like numbers printed on it as if it was a game. Lovely jubbly. Right, well, him out of the way. I could have gladly done a whole video about him. It's just, I can't put it down. I love that figure and I wanted it for so long, and now I finally have every single Hotshot mould, even though there's only about 6. Moving along in the vein of transforming robots, because there are a few more other plasticky things I have to show you today, I got my first Arms Micron figure because Kapow suddenly sort of had quite a few of them in, and this guy was actually really cheap for an Arms Micron. $14.99, then the postage got me a Wild Rider, and I was pretty stoked for his arrival, even though the day he did come. I wasn't expecting it because the postman just sort of knocked on the door, thrust that in my hand, and I was like, oh okay, it's been shipped, has it? They hadn't told me. But then I was equally dismayed because without putting any of the lovely stickers on, which you see here glinting in the light, I transformed him for the first time, just took him out of the box, didn't even put the Micron together or anything, just took him straight out of the box, transformed him, because of course it's just a repaint of Wheeljack, I know how it transforms, and got to the step where you flip his head down or push it in, or what, converting his head, and a little bit of plastic fell out. And you might be able to see he's missing one of the Frankenstein bolts on the side of his head. Yep, it broke off as soon as I got it out of the box. And I raged for about 5 minutes, and then realised that it was a really minor cosmetic injury, so I just lived with it, I guess. And, well, the day I got this guy, I was heading back to Bristol to finally move out, hand my keys back, all that. I took him with me, thinking that maybe while I'm down there I might be able to fix it, and, well, I didn't bother. And now I think I've actually lost the bit that came off, so I can't fix it anyway. Bummer! But, this is very nice. As my first Arms Micron figure, I suppose it would be, because it's a little bit more high-end than Prime. I do like this. It was certainly fun to put all the stickers on. It was really nerve-wracking because I was just sat there thinking, I'm really going to muck this up. Oh God, what if I tear them, if I try and get them off, if I put it on wrong or something, or get loads of bubbles in it, or crease it weirdly, or lots of things going through my mind as I was using, I think, a very sharp pencil to sort of hold the stickers and put them on. I can't remember. I lacked the proper tools, but I got the job done and stickered him up, and he's got a nice shiny gold window bit on his chest that is obviously fake, and nice shiny Decepticon symbols on his arms, and when you put him into a car you get like 3 panels all line up to make one. So that bit did take some extra care, but overall I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. Some of the stickers might be, I don't know, I mean, these ones, I'm not sure they're quite in the right place they're meant to be. I tried to sort of line them up with this slanting edge of the bodywork, but all in all, it's pretty nice. And all the stickers are shiny, which makes it look really nice, and the plastic is shiny as well. It's all this all gunmetal grey, and here's where I begin to sort of pick out some gripes. Because of course, this being the Wheeljack mould, I liked Wheeljack because it was really sort of solid. The plastic felt really good. It was just really nicely put together. This isn't so much. It's rickety. It makes that horrible noise to the wheels when you shake it. The plastic feels lighter, not as dense. I don't know, it's sort of stepped down in quality while also being a mild step up. And I keep holding one of his swords here because here's something else to point out. most of the black plastic on this guy is actually all rubbery. Swords aren't plastic anymore, they're all rubber, they're not painted. The wings on his back, they're all rubbery. The spikes on his knees, they're all rubbery. And it just makes you think, why? If they didn't need to implement these sorts of things for safety in the wider release, Western version being Wheeljack and Dead End, why have they done it with Wild Rider, who is mainly for sale in a country that is much smaller than the population of the rest of the world? So all in all, this figure is all a bit sort of ups and downs. But the one thing that isn't is his micron, because I have 2 words for you. Well, 3, I guess. I'm not entirely sure that the description I'm about to give you is fitting. I can't quite tell what weapon this is. It might be a grenade launcher. But machine gun elephant. Look, it's a little elephant. It's got a trunk that goes up and down. Like, I can't make an elephant trumpeting noise. But again, some really fiddly stickers here. All the red stuff is stickers, even his eye, which was a bit really sort of nerve-wracking there. And even the little Decepticon spark crystal-y thing you have to put together. Of course, you have to put this whole guy together. I should have mentioned that, which was something I was quite proud of. I probably should have used something better than just a pair of scissors to get the bits off of the sprue. Got a little bit of sort of flashing marks here and there, but again, it's something you can be proud of because you put it together yourself, and I really do rather like him. But yeah, it was really fiddly getting that sticker in there and then getting this bit of plastic on the top. Why do you have to go to that level of putting it together yourself? They could have done that bit for you, surely. But yes, you transform him and he's this, maybe it is a grenade launcher. I sort of look at it as more of a sort of drum-barreled machine gun, I'm not sure, but it's made out of an elephant. Why wouldn't you want that? So in my opinion, the overall package of AM32, I can't remember, Wild Rider, or Stunt Wild Rider, is pretty much a win if you can get one for the sort of, relatively cheap price that I did. It's nice, and I'm finding myself sort of wanting some more arms microns now because it was a lot of fun putting this together, and of course once you've put it together, that fun is gone because that was in the past and you just got the figure to enjoy. When you've got that little bit of having to work to get the figure, how you want it, I think that adds quite a lot to the whole experience of what you've bought, and the threat of sort of cacking it up is also quite a sort of adrenaline-fueled thrill ride, I suppose. Although I've got no idea what to do with the extra optional Stunticon stickers that you get. They are really nice, and I probably should have thought about actually putting them on in a place other than, like, say these ones, because they're sort of long and you can't put them anywhere else on the figure. I'd have to sort of forego a Decepticon assembly and put one on there or something, or move them. But that's all done now, and I've got some spare Stunticon stickers, and I'm thinking maybe I should put them on some other Stunticons, like Universe Dragstrip or Revenge of the Fallen Breakdown. But I'm not sure, because that'd just be a bit weird. Moving on now to the final Transformers purchase of July. Because of course after spending, well, that's like more than 30 quid's worth of stuff I've just shown you there, I downsized a little and picked up a nice new little thing that I found in a shop. Well, I got this in my last weekend in Bristol. Found a little Cyberverse Soundwave, who is just essentially a smaller version of the big RID one. I'm sort of feeling like he has a tiny bit more character than the bigger one. Maybe it's because they've actually painted the Decepticon symbols on his shoulders, or he's actually got a gun. But I like him, he's nice. It's just a basic sort of version of the bigger thing. He hasn't got any knees. The bigger one didn't really, did it? It's cool, it's all sort of mildly shiny, and he's got some good paint in there, and I'm not even sure he has a face. All in all though, he seems very sort of show accurate for a tiny Legion figure, and I'm happy about that. And I guess this is sort of the look of things to come, because now all I can really afford is Legion figures. but I'm happy with that because they seem to be rather stellar at the moment. Now though, it's time to move on to other plastic things. I guess a couple of them are sort of robots. I've got more Iron Man figures, of course I have. When I found that the second wave of the Ironmonger builder stuff was out, I went and got an Ultron. It's Ultron, what is not to like? Of course, he's sort of in vogue at the moment with the whole Age of Ultron Marvel thing, which I haven't read any of, and I'm waiting for the trade paperback, and it looks completely just apocalyptic and far too bleak. I'm not really thinking I'm going to enjoy it. But this Ultron figure is nice. It's just Ultron. It's a shiny silver robot with a big sort of scary grinning face. It's Ultron. One of the first Marvel Legends figures I ever got was that Ultron from that lot. And I'm quite happy to have another one. I rather like Ultron. He's just a quintessential mad robot, and you can just put him in poses like this where he's like, ah. I've never been quite sure as to what his voice should sound like, so I'm not going to try simulating anything. But it's nice, yeah. It is just a rejigged, I think, Titanium Man from another Iron Man line. But it works, and it's really shiny. And I've got another piece of my Ironmonger, so all is good. And then, of course, I picked up another one of them in Bristol, so I've got the Mark 42. This, it's an odd thing. I sort of want to say it is an exceptionally good figure because it is really poseable. They've got all the joints just really well done. If this is the new standard for articulation for 6-inch figures again, I can see myself wanting a lot of them to come, because the range of motion is excellent. He's got ankle rockers and the hips actually work properly, and the detail is amazing. I mean, this is pretty crazy looking armour and there's detail everywhere, but some of the paintwork is a little bit off, where it should probably stop at a panel line. It goes over a little bit on quite a lot of bits on here, but I can forgive it. You know, it's only Hasbro at the end of the day. For what it is, it's really, really good. And if you want a new Iron Man, if you liked Iron Man 3, then of course go and get yourself a decent version of the movie armour, because if you try and get one of the little ones, it'll be rubbish. But with those two in my possession, I now have completed more of the Iron Man himself. It's gigantic, and please, please, please let there be a movie Iron Patriot somewhere when I go to look for one when I've got some money, because I need this arm, because I can't just leave it like that. It's such a good figure with giant joints, and if you push his head down he looks like that because of the collar. It's like he's going, oh no. I need to finish this. So you might be thinking that's everything, because I've gone and shown you some Transformers and some Iron Man stuff. What else is there that I buy? Well, after going to see Pacific Rim, there's going to be a whole lot more stuff I'm going to be buying. I've got a Gypsy Danger. Look at this. This is my first NECA figure ever. Ever. Let's forget his legs are doing that. This thing is something else. You might have seen some reviews if you're into Pacific Rim. Everyone should be if you've seen the film, because it was amazing and awesome and sort of punched my eyes out the back of my head. But this thing is, yeah, it's nice. I had to have some sort of figure, some plasticky merchandise from that film, because honestly it was crying out for a toy line. You come out of the cinema from seeing that, you just sort of think to yourself, they really could have made so much money on a proper toy line from, you know, any of the big people, Hasbro, Mattel, whatever. It needed proper like play sets, really big figures, maybe, you know, something like a head play set where you put the pilots in or something. It needed loads of toys, and it's hardly getting any, let's face it. This is 1 out of 3 from the first wave of the NECA figures, and it looks like they might not be doing a third wave, which is a bit of a bummer, because then we can't get all the Jaegers. And yeah, I really like this, and it is something that is sort of, lots of people, especially over here, would bite your hand off for some Pacific Rim figures, because they've been really slow to turn up over here. And so yeah, I'm sort of showing this off and going yeah, but it's nice, but at the same time it's pretty limited. I wasn't really expecting one. I was expecting NECA figures to be pretty limited on articulation. I know their Predators stuff is good, but this is just the shoulders hardly sort of go many places. They go sort of in and out like that nicely, but not up and down. They go round and round. There's lots of joint limiting here. I don't really want to go too far into it. You can probably go watch someone else's review like I did before I decided, yes, I probably want most of these figures. But that's me sort of being a bit of a show-off and saying, I've got a Pacific Rim figure, because you probably haven't. But even with the joint limiting and the odd sort of old-style Marvel Legends rubbery plastic, because I assume NECA hand sculpt their stuff and then use a mould and blah 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 rather than CAD rendering, it's just awesome. It's so good to just stand there, and I need some monsters for him to clobber, and I've sort of been using Beast Mode Transformers because of course I don't have any kaiju, and I'm sort of seeing that there could be a small niche when it comes to Beast Hunters figures. Buy myself some Predacons and I can have him beat them up, and that would be cool. I don't even know I'm calling it him when in the film it's piloted by a man and a woman at one point. It's a genderless robot. It's not even a robot. I'm sorry, I'm going to have to say this because of my degree. It's not a robot because it doesn't do anything autonomously. You've got two people piloting it, so it's just a sort of rig. I don't know what you call this, but it's not really a robot, don't tell anyone. So there you have it, everything I've had in July. Looking at it all in one place actually seems like quite a lot when I don't really have a lot of money. Maybe this is the cause of me not having money. But either way, already, when we're only a few days into August, I can tell you there will be stuff to show you for August, and maybe I'll do a proper dated on the week video. Maybe I won't. I probably won't. But I don't really want to leave it to an August catch up because it's very apparent to me that date might have already passed when you're watching this, that it will be the third year, or is that third year? Third year, I think. We're moving on to season 3 of Twit, and wow, it's really gone very quickly. But don't think I've vanished completely, and keep your eye out for some stuff that I might be able to put out. I certainly want to do some more reviews of Armada figures that I've been enjoying a lot more recently. So, toodaloo, and I'll see you soon, and maybe I won't, and goodbye. Blam! Gunsplosion!